Lots of announcements recently and more coming up this weekend, but a huge one dropped yesterday.
That's right.
Dropped being the appropriate word there. We're going back down to $2.99.
That's right. We decided that we wanted to hold the line at $2.99. That's the tagline we've come up with. But really that we felt that we listened to the fans, we listened to the retailers. They wanted a cheaper comic book. They wanted something that was more price accessible for the fans, and we listened. I mean, I think this is the first time that I can remember as a professional, as a fan, where a major comic book publisher has rolled back their prices across the line. I mean, I think there have been experiments with like 99-cent books and $1.50 books and things like that, but never across the entire line. And so this really is our challenge to the retailers and the fans, and say, look, this is what you asked for. Show us that it matters. Show us that this is important to you, and I'm not saying that you just have to buy DC books, but show us that circulation, excitement for comics will rise if we keep the price points low.
Was this something that you guys have been trying to work around and find a way to do for a while?
From my standpoint, I mean, I look back to last year when we raised the price on some of our books to $3.99. We added extra pages. We added second features. That's because a lot of the thought was, in good conscience, we couldn't figure out that a 32-page comic should be a $3.99 price point. We were uncomfortable with that. We did some of that, but even then, we did it on our higher-end books, and we did it in a couple of places. But again, we just didn't feel like it was the right strategy. It was the right plan to build a long-term business, which we're in. We're in this game for the long term. We're not here to see the periodical come to a close. Quite the opposite. We want to keep on bringing people in and getting people excited about the periodical. So what we decided to do is, after reviewing it, we realized the $3.99 price, even with the added value, the fans were most concerned about the price itself. And the added extra pages, while they enjoyed them, was still starting to become prohibitive. So we had to get past that. And that's one of the reasons why we made this choice to move the books to a $2.99 price point for the 32-page comics. We feel that that's where we've experienced some of our greatest successes with that price point in the last several years. And we feel that that's still a point where everybody feels comfortable and feel like they're getting the value from the book itself. So we feel extraordinarily good about the decision. And more importantly, we feel that it's showing that DC Comics is in it for the long game with the consumer's best interests in mind.
That's and that does seem to be the case. Now, instead of being a storm cloud with a silver lining, this is kind of a white cloud with a little bit of a stormy lining here, in that we do have fans that are really excited about some of the new second features that were planned. What can you guys speak to on that?
Well, that's an easy one. Right. Every one of the second features that we have is finding another home, either as a special, as a mini-series, or an ongoing series. Great. So a lot of these things had already been created, and things like the Commissioner Gordon story, the Jimmy Olsen story, the Atom, Spirit Black and White, Justice Incorporated, a lot of great stuff there. And the great part about it is that they're just not going to just completely fade away. We are going to find homes for them. And more importantly, we're going to put them out in their own books. And if those books work, you'll see more of it. If they don't, then we'll make sure that we make those books the best they can be.
What can you speak to as behind the decision of keeping, when you dropped the second features, keeping the main feature to 20 pages?
Couple of reasons. You know what? It was a numbers crunch, and it was a way to, it was, as I call it, the sweet spot, the optimum page count at the best price. It's this place that we thought we found a way to create an affordable comic that made sense as a company-wide as well. We are a business, and we have to run it smartly. So therefore, we felt that the fans and, more importantly, the creators can embrace a 20-page count. We feel you get just as much story, just as much value in a book with a 20-page count. And more, again, on top of that, we're looking at ways to keep our schedule on track, keep the books on time, and with these 2 less pages, we're actually able to produce the books in a slightly quicker manner that hopefully will be able to keep everything moving quickly and on time that we're hoping for.
So if you have some creators with a little bit extra time, basically an issue's worth a year, are there any plans to increase the output at all overall and start putting out some new books?
It'll still be 12 issues a year, but if the creative team is working at the same speed at which they are currently working at, they would just actually produce an extra issue per year, so they'd be further ahead on the schedule, but we're not anticipating putting out an extra issue
Okay.
a year. So it really is a chance for the creative teams to get further ahead on schedule, for us to stockpile issues. There should be some improvement in in whatever scheduling issues we've had in the past, and ultimately, the creative teams produce as much work as they want to do. I mean, the creators work the hours they want, they work the days they want, the holidays they want. It's not a 9-to-5 type job. So really, it will make no impact on the amount of work they do per year or the amount of money they make per year. It really is, can they tell the same story in 20 pages as they can in 22? And the answer is unequivocally yes. I mean, I've done it before. Some of my favorite comic books are 17, 18 pages long back in the day, the monthly books that I used to collect as a kid. And, as a creator, I look forward to doing it in 20 pages. I really think it'll help me with my deadlines, ultimately. And I don't think there's anything that really would be sacrificed other than maybe you can't do as many big splashes per issue. But honestly, in terms of storytelling, those are probably the least important elements to telling, a story.
And I'm going to go one step further. What I'm hoping for is less fill-ins and less skip months.
Right.
Because I think those things work against the fans as well. And again, all this is with the fans' best interest in mind.
And, speaking to the skip months, is that something you're especially looking at with things that hit the outside media a little bit and then all of a sudden wind up having a skip
When you have
month?
particular creative teams on board and the fans are purchasing a book for a particular creative team, it's very hard to fill that book in. But we also know the realities of our schedule. So because of that, we're hoping that this is able to run our schedules a little bit smarter. And we are going to be running a tighter line as well. Not much tighter, but a little bit tighter. So we want to make sure that the best books are out with the best creators involved and making sure everybody has the proper amount of time to deliver the best product.